Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today I want to spotlight the new Ortiz Exuro Gear Set that is currently being featured on the Year 5 Season 2 public test server for the Division 2. This will be the primary new gear set that we get in Season 2, which is dropping on the live servers for the game next month, but currently it is on the test server and everybody is talking about it primarily around the focal point of does it live up to the name of Firecrest 2.0, which is what myself and many others have been calling this set. Because if you didn't know, Firecrest was a set from back in the Division 1 which augmented and upgraded the power of your incinerator turret, and that is exactly what this set does as well. However, in a few different ways, and so I want to give an overview of the set, show some of the gameplay that I've captured with it, and overall just give my thoughts on this new Exuro Ortiz gear set to ultimately answer the question, is it viable? Is it good? So hopefully by the end you'll have an answer for that. This is the first of many videos I plan to do on various subjects regarding the PTS, showing you guys what is new and what has changed, and so if you like these breakdowns, consider clicking that subscribe button, I'd very much appreciate it. So the first thing that is always important to do is to take a look at what the set actually does. You can see right here we have the Ortiz Exuro set. The 2-piece bonus gives you 20% burn duration and 15% skill health. The 3-piece gives you 40% burn damage. And the 4-piece gives you Ortiz Incinerator Turret Prototype. The incinerator turret spins 360 degrees, you are immune to your own incinerator turret's fire, and the incinerator turret will explode when it's disabled. And although I am currently not using either of these pieces on the build you will see in the gameplay, the chest piece amplification talent is called Chain Combustion. Enemies set ablaze by the incinerator turret will ignite other enemies within 2 meters, and the backpack amplification talent is Heat Stroke, which is that you get 25% weapon damage to enemies set on fire by the turret, as well as an additional 25% range for the turret. Now, clearly there are many different ways you could set this up. I feel like a lot of people are going to want to include that gear set backpack to really take advantage of that extra damage and range it's going to give you. This current build that you're seeing in the gameplay utilizes Ninja Bike and Empress International to really give you those extra benefits that you get from the 3-piece brand bonus on there, which is of course the skill efficiency. But my point is, and what I want you to take away from this video, is that there are many different ways you could set this up, and this is just one demonstration. I would personally love to pair this with the Artificer Hive that would kind of refresh the duration of the turret. However, I don't have Technician unlocked on the PTS, and I'm not going to go through the entire field research just to get it. So keep in mind that these are very much first impressions. This is just one type of build, and there are many different ways that you could change this, possibly upgrade its potential and power, so keep that in mind. The overall playstyle that you're going to see me incorporate in this gameplay is really just locking down areas, right? This thing does phenomenally when you throw it into a group of enemies, it spins, it takes them all out. And even if you have more enemies running into that, it just has such a wide range that it can really get those stragglers that try and run out, and it works really well for those purposes. Because I don't have the Artificer, I've substituted in the Blinder Firefly, and that works really well because I have a lot of status effects built in. And then of course I have the Capacitor as well, which does a lot of damage on its own because of the skill tiers, and it further buffs up the damage that the Incinerator turret is able to do. Regardless of which type of build you set up, I think that this gear set and the Incinerator turret itself will really benefit from a build that you have the capability to do something else to kind of supplement its power, right? It does phenomenal zone control, maybe the best in the game for it, but you want to be able to still have that capability to shoot enemies that either run away or they're further back, whatever the case may be. The big discussion that I've seen a lot of people getting into is comparing the functionality of the Ortiz set here to Firecrest back in the Division 1, primarily how the old Incinerator turret in Division 1 had the properties of, say, an assault turret where it would directly target individual enemies, and so then the Incinerator would just continually, burst out a stream of flame onto them. And so I've seen a lot of people saying that they would much prefer it have that property compared to it just spinning continually in a circle and getting the entire range. I'm a bit on the opposite side in that, well, I never used Firecrest a ton in Division 1, so I don't want to come across that I was like the biggest fan of it or that I knew the most about it, right? And I don't have the specific numbers for the range that the Incinerator turret back then had, but I'm going to tell you right now, it didn't exceed 25 or 30 meters, which is kind of what it seems like this current set has. And so because Division 2 allows you to specifically spec into status effects, whereas Division 1 just allowed you to spec into skill power, I'm actually of the opinion that this has the potential to be an even more powerful set because the entire range that this thing hits when it spins 360 degrees, it reaches, as you're seeing in the gameplay, a large amount of enemies over different verticalities and all of that. And this means that if you really spec into making the burn do the most amount of damage, then it's really not about how much damage the skill itself is going to continually be dealing to a single target. It's about applying the burn to as many targets as possible and taking advantage of that situation. All of these control points in the background are on heroic. The enemies are burning a lot, for heroic difficulty and heroic health that they have. And so I think, the combination of the range that the spin has, the amount of burn damage you can deal, the fact that Division 2 allows you to pick up the turret and replace it on a more limited cooldown, it actually kind of surpasses what Firecrest in Division 1 was able to do, where it was a much more stationary set and it did target individual enemies, but that kind of limited how much it could really control an area. Whereas this just has phenomenal potential in that realm. So I'm going to answer the final question right here. Yes, I absolutely think that this new Ortiz Exuro set is viable. I think it's good. I think it's going to be great. Once people really get their hands on it, they're able to apply it to their main accounts, apply the Artificer Hive, just get all those maximum rolls on there, put expertise on the turret. It's going to be really, really strong. I see people using this in legendary content to lock down a room. I see people using it in PvP to lock down an extraction point. I see people using it for control points like I am in the video, just to throw it in there and see how many enemies it can kill. There's a lot of potential with this set, and I think it really does live up to the name of Firecrest 2.0. And in my opinion, it has even more potential to be used in a wider variety of ways than Firecrest was back then. So I have been having a ton of fun with this set so far on the test server, and it is absolutely one of the top things that I'm most looking forward to earning and using once it hits live servers next month. That is all I have for you today, everybody. Let me know your thoughts on this Ortiz Exuro Gear Set. Whether you've played the PTS or you've just watched my footage or others of people using it, what do you think about it? What's your take on that spinning versus direct targeting conversation that people have been having compared to its usage in the Division 1? And ultimately, do you see yourself using this set when it goes live? Like I said, keep an eye out for my further PTS coverage on the way. There's a lot more videos in the works, so stay tuned. That is going to do it for me today, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. RogueGold. Ow.